Very good morning all. I am Anil Gambhire from English Department of Rajmata Jizau Shikshan Prasarak Mandal. Today I am going to speak on English language and we. Language is very important aspect of human being. We could call it is an identity of human which helps us to establish it. Today I am going to speak on language and we. Especially I am focusing on English language. Why? It is because it is considered as a foreign language or it is not our language. But today English language has achieved its own place as a global language or language of the world. So what is language? Language is a system of sounds, words, patterns. It is used by human to communicate through the feelings. It is the definition given by Oxford Dictionary. So language is a system of what? System of sounds. Sounds which is created by the human beings, animals, birds. Especially if you trace the history of English language, how it is developed and how it is comes, we can understand that the human being itself come to know that they could produce the sounds from the birds and animals when they were living in the forest. So the sounds came into certain shapes, what you call symbols, and then these symbols are today what you call them the alphabets. When these alphabets brought together, it becomes words, and that words later on we bring together to compose a sentence and express, and through that we have been performing our duties while communicating with each other. So today's world consider language in the world. There are uncountable languages. No one can say that very firmly there are certain languages, but if you see the dialects, registers, and they are different from regions, nations and societies. So there are so many varieties and variations. What are the problems we as an second language learners or foreign language learners face while learning or mastering English language? Basically, as we say that English is not our language, and the psychology around us, the people around us created that it's a very difficult language. And that difficult means what? Those people haven't tried their best, they were not very dedicated, they are not very honest with their own efforts. These people say it's a fear. Then the second aspect is shyness. Shy means what? People shy to take efforts, and that efforts here it means that there should be a consistency in your work, and that is somewhere not with our people, and that's why that psychological dogma and that fear is created around us. And friends gossip. Even today around us, if you think that most of us people, those people around us, they always say that, oh, if you speak English it is not good, or they criticize or they comments, and that comments always remain behind our brain that if I speak, people will say something. So these are certain points which impacts us. Then individual and social issues which are the barriers in learning or developing English language. First thing, it's a motivation. Motivation, when we say motivation, automatically there are two kinds of motivation, internal and external motivation, and we lack those people who have been motivated themselves. They can do anything in this world. So the motivation is very essential factor while considering English language. Then the blind beliefs. Blind beliefs, what it is? People say it is difficult. So those who are the new learners or young learners, it is something inscribed on their minds that yes, English is very difficult language. Then the superstitions here, the blind belief, again the people says it is a language of others. They shows their love for what you call their regional languages. Yeah, regional languages is very important aspect of each and every human's being's development. But it is not mean that we should not learn other languages. It is very important. If you learn so many languages, not just one, you could learn so many uncountable languages. Then approach is very important. Again, if you start working with a negative mindsets, then you cannot learn or you cannot master. That's why that approach is also very important. Consistency, it is again very essential factor, because when you want to achieve a success in your life or in any field of human beings life, you need to be consistent in that. the dedication, yes, it is again, it's a very essential part, because without a dedication of anyone, you cannot do or cannot perform anything in this world. Lack of determination. So these are the aspects which personally I could say deals with our own selves as well as the society where it plays the roles. Problems learning and teaching, lack of clear aims. Yes, I already speaks, people are just walking on the roads, but they don't have targets. So it is again, it's very important to have a clear aims, have a target and go through it, learn it, and then you could say, yes, I have taken the efforts and I have mastered this language. Limited vocabulary, it is, as I already said, people says it is not our language. When we say language, automatically our own aspects of that language, the most and what you call the soul part of language is vocabulary, and the English is especially as a foreign language, we have to first develop our active vocabulary. Until and unless we cannot speak, write, and even we cannot understand. Lack of good teachers. This is a system's problems, because teachers who have been teaching to the student this subject, they themselves have so many weaknesses, especially regarding the language knowledge, pronunciations and grammar aspects. So if they have their own weaknesses, how could they develop the language in the students? How could they develop the skills in the students? Less use of technology. Yes, nowadays, yes, we have been developing our education system, our colleges, institutes have been working on that aspects to facilitate with the technology, with the new aspects, labs, all these things are going to be happens. But yes, if you see till days, that is the part where we are lacking in. Then the grammar and sentence structure. When we say structure, it is again a very important part of language, because there are so many languages and each language has their own structure and grammar. So basically when we say English language, again we have to master that knowledge of that grammar, then that is language structure, sentence structure and all that. Again, when we say the system aspects, we have all these controlling issue. As India, as we already know, we have, it is not a proud to say that, but yes, we are a very young country and very populated country in the world. So these are certain aspects where the teacher has to face the challenges, controlling issues of large classes. We cannot, as a teacher, if you ask me these questions that how could you teach English language to your students? Yes, again, as a teacher in the context of Maharashtra, let's say, there is a problem of this huge problem, I could say, the large classes, because we as a teacher cannot pay individual attentions, we cannot give that specific aspect, we cannot understand what problems that students have, and if I don't know the problems, how I could give the solutions to it. Learning effectiveness and learning outcomes. Again, if you consider the senior colleges, the university gives the syllabus. According to that syllabus, according to the rules and regulations of education institutes, we have to complete the syllabus. Outside the syllabus, we as a teacher, we don't have that much of scope, because we all are engaged in that traditional methodology to teach them the prose, poems and grammatical aspects. But actually where we have to focus, that aspect is somewhere missing from this system. Lack of interest because of textbook approach. As I already mentioned, it's given by the university and we carry that and we completed that and we say that yes, I have completed. But what the student learns, no one sees it or observes it. Use of native and regional languages. Yes, regional language is very important to teach a second language, but when you have achieved some certain part of it, then you have to change to the target language, because if you are not speaking in the class itself a target language where these students are going to listen it, because that listening part is when we consider the language learning, it's very essential and the first stage of language learning. Then lack of quality and skilled teachers. Yes, already I spoke about it. It's a system, or let's say the government's not interested to provide a good teachers, because they are not providing that much of all facilities to the teachers. So that is also lacking, lack of required infrastructure. Huge classes is a major problem. If you go to the European universities, there are a few students for a one teacher, so that he could fix their problems, work on it, develop the skills. But again, in our system, that is somewhere lacking in evaluation and providing individual feedback. When we say he or she has learned, when they have mastered it, when they have shown their outcomes. But in our system, evaluation is there, but the feedback is not there. Feedback, we consider feedback is means what? Feedback means the result. It is not a feedback. Feedback, it means that what if I am a student, I should learn what are my mistakes, what I have done in my paper. But in our education system, it is missing. We just assess the paper, we mark their marks in the sheets, we fill it online, and then the university prepared the results. But students don't know what their mistakes are. So this is one of the very major problems in our systems. When we consider language, today it is English language has achieved a certain place that no one can say that it is our language, it is a language of all. So these are the greatest writers from the world of literature. You could have a look at these images and could see these people have done excellent work in these fields, and especially on these slides you could see the most of the Indian writers have gained the recognitions and their names and fames. So basically today I just want to introduce what is language, what are the lacunas where we are lacking in, and how in the next lecture I will speak about how to tackle with all these aspects. Thank you. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you.